It's not what happens to you that harms you, but how you deal with it. Epictetus knew this long before our world drowned in noise. Maybe you felt it. Your mind racing, your words spilling out, chasing distractions instead of purpose. Quick opinions pass for wisdom, reactions pass for strength, and men end up burned out and scattered. But the Stoics discovered something simple. Real strength isn't about more, it's about better. It's not about shouting louder, it's about knowing when to stay quiet. It's not endless thinking. It's choosing your thoughts with discipline. Today I'll share 6 Stoic practices that can help you toughen your mind, regain focus, and act with intention. If you've ever felt like you're slipping beneath the flood of distractions, this is for you. Stick with me because when you think less, talk less, and focus more, the world doesn't own you. You own it. 1. Thoughts aren't facts. A single thought can ruin your day. I'm not enough. Things will never change. What if it all goes wrong? The Stoics taught us that it's not events that disturb us, but the judgments we attach to them. Picture yourself at a train station. Each thought is a train. Some carry regret, some carry fear, but you don't have to board everyone. You can let them pass. I once spoke with a leader respected for his calm. He admitted he woke each morning with dread, not because of his life, but because of the voices in his head. You're failing. You're not doing enough. For years, he treated those whispers as verdicts. Then he read Marcus Aurelius. He learned to say, I'm having the thought that I'm failing. That small shift gave him distance. Suddenly, the thoughts weren't him. They were just smoke, and smoke clears if you don't feed the fire. This isn't about forcing positivity. It's about awareness. You are not your thoughts. You are the space they move through, and when you step back, they lose their grip. 2. The power of saying less. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The stronger the soul, the less it needs to justify itself." In a world that confuses noise for intelligence, silence is a weapon. Some silences make people uncomfortable. Others command respect. The ego wants the last word. But strength doesn't always argue back. It chooses when to speak and when to stay silent. I knew a man in the office who rarely spoke. He watched, listened, and when he finally opened his mouth, every word landed heavy. He wasn't loud, he wasn't quick, but his restraint made him unforgettable. Saying less isn't fear, it's clarity. Not every insult needs a reply. Not every debate needs your energy. Silence gives you control, time, and presence. And in a world of chatter, a man who masters silence stands out. 3. Control what you can control. Life doesn't wait to break in clusters. Plans collapse, people disappoint, and storms roll in together. Most men get stuck blaming or giving up. Stoics choose differently. They draw a line. What's within my control and what isn't? Epictetus said freedom begins there. You don't control the waves, but you do control the rudder. You don't choose the hand you're dealt, but you decide how to play it. I once spoke with a man who lost his business after 2 decades. The hardest part wasn't the money, it was the helplessness. For months he was drowning in blame. Then he made 2 lists. Things he couldn't control and things he could. His routine, his discipline, his mindset. That simple act helped him rebuild, not just a career, but himself. The Stoics remind us, power doesn't come from bending fate, it comes from mastering your response. 4. Focus on what makes you grow. Have you ever replayed a mistake in your head for days, or kept old wounds alive long after the moment passed? That's because your mind grows what you feed it. If you plant resentment, you harvest suffering. Marcus Aurelius, even while facing wars and betrayal, wrote that strength comes from focusing on what life demands today. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, today. The past is heavy, but it's not a prison unless you keep locking yourself inside. Every time you shift your attention to growth, to reading, training, building, you tell the world and yourself, I refuse to waste another day on what I cannot change. Growth starts small, choosing one thought over another, choosing forward over backward. Over time, those choices become character. 5. Acceptance isn't surrender. Most men don't break from the weight itself. They break from fighting it. They want the past to be different. They want people to act as they hoped. But the Stoics taught that pain comes not from the event, but from our refusal to accept it. Acceptance isn't giving up. It's refusing to wrestle with what's already done. It's looking at the loss, the betrayal, the failure, and saying, this will not define me. A man once wrote to me after years chasing his father's approval. He tried to be the perfect son, the toughest man, but nothing was ever enough. Then his father died, and the weight doubled. Only when he read Epictetus did he realize, freedom begins when you stop begging for permission to be yourself. When you accept reality, you stop being chained to fantasies. You stop carrying guilt for a past you cannot rewrite. Acceptance clears space to grow. 6. Embrace silence for clarity. Noise surrounds us, news, opinions, endless scrolling, but the loudest noise often comes from inside. The restless need to be more, know more, do more. Without silence, everything blurs together. But silence isn't empty. It's where you finally hear your own voice. One man told me he used to fill every second with noise. Work, music, calls, because stillness made him feel worthless. Then one day during a panic attack, he forced himself to sit in silence for 5 minutes. Just 5. And in those 5 minutes, truth hit him harder than any distraction ever had. He realized he wasn't living for himself. He was running from himself. Now silence is his daily practice. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. The Stoics knew silence is where clarity grows. It's where you see if the life you're chasing is even yours. And clarity is power. The Stoics never promised an easy life. They promised strength in the face of life. And that strength is quiet, steady, unshakable. Thoughts aren't facts. Silence is a shield. Control begins with response. Focus builds growth. Acceptance frees you. And silence, real silence, gives clarity. This is how you reclaim your mind, your presence, and your life. So the next time distractions scream, pause, breathe, choose clarity over noise. Because when you think less, talk less, and focus more, you stop being owned by the world, you own it. If this message resonates with you, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. This is only the beginning of your Stoic transformation.